of driving the car?
I'll be honest with you. I have been trying to get down to drive a Tesla all 2 weeks. I have wanted to do it, and I haven't been able to do it.
What part of the mansion you walked through did you like the best? Was it the living room? Was it the foyer?
Now I did do that virtually because it's very hard to get actual walkthroughs right now because of COVID stuff. But I did do that, and I'll be. Here's the other thing: is as I really started to make it realistic, I said I'm just going to get money out of my mind and just actually think like if money were no object, what would I want? And I still came up with the same thing. I was like, I would be happy right where I am. Like I wouldn't want a bigger house.
There's nothing wrong with that. It has to do subconsciously with it being possible, not that you want it. I honestly don't want a private helicopter. I really don't. But if I went and got in one and took a ride, I still don't want it. But it's not over there anymore. It's subconsciously. You see what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you can see yourself making $10 million, then 1 million is nothing. You don't ever need to make the 10 million. But if
Yeah.
you can see yourself making 100,000, then 25,000 is nothing. So it's expansive thinking. It has nothing to do with whether you want that house or even want the Tesla. Most people, when they think about a Tesla or a mansion, that's for the other people. And who are the other people? Like they're from another planet. Those houses are for the other people. That jet's for the other people. So once you realize it's for you, if you want it, it doesn't mean you have to. I mean, some of the, as you know, because we both, we all read, philosophical writers and metaphysical writers, and it's analogous to somebody selling everything they own and just becoming a vagabond. They don't need anything. And if you were to look at and that's me. I mean, I have a high school education, and people kept telling me I couldn't have a big house, much less two or three, couldn't have $100,000 car, couldn't have a place in a high rise. And if I didn't prove to myself I could, or at least believe I could, then they're right. And that's the other people that have that. So in my case, I got some of that stuff. But just knowing if I had the money in the bank and I go, I don't want a 4 or 5 bedroom house, but knowing I could get it if I wanted it, then that proved that my own capacity has expanded. Whether I want it or not, I could live in a tent. But I want to know that I'm able to do it. So the only other advice I have, for you listening to you is you're an idea mill like me. And creativity is fun. We create all kinds of stuff, sculptures, paintings. But what you want to do is the metrics and the process remains the same for selling the spaghetti or the pizza or the fettuccine or the linguine. So you want to focus in on a one or two, an entry, a one upsell or two, or mid-page program. And then now you have the process down, you can insert the AI stuff. But if you chase, the proverbial, you chase too many rabbits at one time, you get stuck in the creative trap. Because, man, you got to work on this and this and this. And then when you check your bottom line for over the last 90 days, nothing was sold because we just spent our time creating. So you got that idea, though. What I always did is I said, put this in the chest, the war chest there for down the road. Once you have the process down, you just insert, you insert the same process for spaghetti as you do for linguine once you know how to do it. And then that's what keeps your business fun. Raul's business, my business, the business we're all in is if you're a chiropractor, you pretty much just come and crack necks all day. There's no creativity. There's no diversification unless you do seminars. See, Raul does private clients. He does corporate. He does tag talks. He does mine too. That's how our creativity comes out, like yours will. Once you know the process, now you can, add something into it.
Cool.
All right.
So we're gonna focus on getting. Go ahead, Raul. We're gonna focus on getting that package made for you or dialed in a little bit.
That's exactly where I was going, and just kind of piggybacking off of Jim. And I think you already know this. It's okay to be comfortable where we're at until we really realize or understand, am I comfortable? Like, why am I seeking these other things if I'm really comfortable where I'm at? Or is it we talked a little bit about the path of least resistance. This is what I'm used to. This is where I'm comfortable, but that's what I want. But I'm okay here. Right. So we got to break that paradigm per se that we're in. I think I told you guys a story at mine too, that one of my big goals early on when I first started making money was I wanted a Ferrari. Remember that? And I worked my butt off, and the Ferrari was sitting right there in front of me. And I go, I don't want it. I don't want it. It was really weird. I remember I could picture myself sitting in this blue convertible Ferrari just staring at it. And I was like, I don't want it. But the mindset that oh, here comes Roy, that Jim was just talking about is exactly right. Because my mind was set on more, I went after it and I was able to get in there at that point. I go, well, I'm happy where I'm at. I don't need it.
I don't really need it. I just wanted to see if I could get it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Or I want to know that I can. I want to know that I can. And it's not.
I know that you can.
And I was when I started looking at houses, I was in that mindset. I was like, okay, I can have anything I want. And I'm looking around, I'm going, okay, I'm just imagining right now that I could have this.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: when you say that you live in a mansion, what's the square footage of your house?
Gosh, I don't know. To me, it's 5 bedrooms and it's a lot to clean.
Yeah,
It takes a very long time. And I would love to hire a maid. I would love to hire a housekeeper. That would be wonderful. It's not a matter of money. My husband's very uncomfortable with bringing somebody else in, so I'm like, okay. So that's why I'm like, I just need a smaller place because that's just how it's going to be.
I think what you're doing, Melanie, is you're still a little entwined in wanting it versus the ability to have it. Like he said, the Ferrari, he could have got it. Once he walked up, he didn't want it. So it has nothing to do with wanting that mansion. It has to do with, let's say, a $6.3 million mansion over here on Del Mar. You may not want it, but what if you knew deep down you could have it if you wanted it? Now the subconscious expands capability thinking. That can cross over into other things other than money. It could be Melanie wants to start 6 children burn centers and hospitals across the country on a 501c, okay, but that sounds so huge to somebody that has that philanthropic, altruistic desire. But once you prove to yourself you can have something that's out here, it doesn't have to be money or helicopters. It could be owning burn centers across the country. It could be anything. Yeah. You're not limited anymore.
I see.
I love that. I mean, I think that probably is more enticing for you, Melanie. Is I'd rather have this place where I can help these people do these things, right? And honestly, it will take the same amount of income to buy the mansion as it will to build out a place where you can have, a shelter or whatever you want to have. So maybe use that in perspective into growth. Go tour. I don't know, facilities where they're helping people in your industry. That might go. I want one of these one day. I have a feeling Roy's driving down the road. That's why he has himself on mute. Roy, feel free, if it's not too noisy, to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Now let's get into the packages. Okay, Melanie, I've been watching your stuff and I think it's awesome. You take the advice we give you and you're doing it. So you're putting links out there. I talked to you just briefly the other day about make it shareable because people that like what you have are going to want to share it with their friends and things like that. What kind of responses are you getting right now?
As far as followers or
just in general, are people liking what you're talking about? Are they going, oh yeah, I like this? What is happening?
Yeah, so far so good. I think I have around 300 followers on TikTok, which isn't a whole lot, but it's something. And then I've had a lot of my friends on Facebook have been following it. And I actually had a friend from Egypt I talked to the other day. Her husband was like, wait, you're talking to Melanie? And he was like, oh my gosh, I love your TikTok stuff. And I was like, wow, I feel like one of those wannabe TikTok stars.
Hey, that's awesome.
Hey, yeah.
That's cool. I like that. You know what? That similar happened to me on TikTok when I'm not a TikTok guy now. I just put things on there every once in a while. And when I first started it, I didn't realize that people were watching. And I would put on just really dumb stuff, like just trying to figure it out. And somebody texted me and go, hey, I saw you on TikTok. And I was like, what do you mean? How'd you see me on TikTok? And I don't know how I came up for them, but I was like, I better start not being serious on here, or at least not just putting anything stupid on.
Bro, the whole dancing in your underwear thing.
Yeah, man. I was doing like magic with my arms and just some weird stuff, all kinds of weird things.
I did put up a couple karaoke videos because my goal is to put out one video a day, even if it's something silly, just to be in the habit of it. So
let's go over for both of you guys. Roy, can you hear us okay?
Unmute yourself, buddy. We can't hear you. Or is it noisy there?
Your thumbs up if you can hear.
No, I just didn't want to make a lot of noise.
Okay, we got you.
Pretty good. Okay, so me, I keep bringing it back to process. So at the end of the day, something has to sell if you have a business. And so we want to go back to process. So if you're doing TikTok and you're doing Facebook or you're doing Instagram or you're doing flyers or you're doing, whatever it is anybody's doing, spokesmodels, whatever anybody's doing, all of that activity, we want to architect an actual process that moves toward the sale. So you have to have what that is written down, because let's say that, 100 people like your TikTok video. That's great. Now what? And so, you can't make money off of likes. You can make money off of dollars. So you need to turn those likes into leads. Then you can, that's great, Melanie. You're crushing it. Roy, you're doing all kinds of stuff. Just remember that it's not cold market anymore. Hey, Roy, I saw you liked my video. They made the first move. Technically you did with the video, but they made the first contact move. So you're just it gives you a perfect bridge to contact them back.
So what I see you guys are both doing two different things right now, and they're both amazing. I want you guys for both to pick up what each other's doing and do them at the same time. So like Roy right now is building his email list. I don't know if you've seen some of his posts right now, but he's saying, have you seen my book? I'll send it to you for free. And then they're giving him his email address, right? And you are sharing your messages and your industry per se. And then you're saying, hey, check this out. I have this course, whatever it is. So both of those things go together, right? So I think we're trying to get into this conversation today in regards to what do you want to sell? Now, right now, Melanie has a couple of packages already, and we can go into that deeper if there's other things you want. But I know the last time I talked to you, Roy, you were like, okay, it's time now, right? We're at the next step. You practiced your talk, you killed it, you got on stage, you did your thing. Now we want to take that message and we want to expand it and put something that you're going to sell within it, right? So what are your thoughts on that? Jim and I were talking about it, and we go, well, let's pull from Roy and help him build out what he wants to sell.
Really not sure. Still, I haven't really had a whole lot of time to sit and think about it or write down that stuff that I recorded. But I need to get it done because I already have a few people saying, hey, I want to talk to you some more. I have somebody saying I want to refer a couple of guys to you. So I got to get it done.
Here's a way that I can help you guys out. You reverse engineer it. And let's just play this game for a second. Melanie, Roy, you're going to have a $497 package. There you go. Now you don't have to worry about what to charge for it. There you go. It's $497. Now reverse it and say, okay, I don't care if it's break the barriers, break dance, whatever it is that you guys sell, that you want to sell, it's going to be $497. That way you don't get caught up. That's not a magic number, but it is a solid number. And so we're going to work with $497. That's still a relatively low ticket item, but it also makes it worth your while. If you're going to do on and on and on in social media and everything and sell $9 item, it's going to be quite a while before you're paying the mortgage. So let's start with like $497. Now you ask yourself, okay, like Raul and I were talking before, make another decision. Is that one-on-one coaching or is that a digital product that you're going to deliver? You make that decision. And once that decision made, that's the fork in the road. The next thing is you will say, what would get me to pull $500 out of my pocket and buy this? So you become the customer. I get one 10-minute video of Melanie. Well, I don't know if I'm going to pay $500 of that. Well, I get this and this and this and this. So start value stacking to where it gets to the point to where, without a doubt, in most people's minds, it's worth it. And then you can fill the content in later.
All right, I know what I'd pay $500 for. Some kind of group class where it's live, it's on Zoom, but we have multiple participants, and it's 3 months long. And
okay, stop there. Let's do that. Once a month for 3 months?
No, weekly.
Weekly, okay. How many weeks is that?
So for 3 months, so 12 weeks.
12 modules. Always use the high number.
Okay. 3
is not as much as 12. So if you say includes 12 in-depth training modules, it sounds better than 3 months. Okay. 90 days sounds actually better than 3 months. They've done studies on it. It just sounds like more. And you can put 3 months in parentheses. So that's a value add. I would agree. $497 for a 90-day program with 12 modules. Okay. I can buy into that value proposition. Roy?
Yeah.
What do you think? 497.
I want to do the one-on-one,
Okay.
and I think the 490. I could do the 3 months. I'd say maybe 2-3 phone calls a week.
Okay, you're way understutting. You can't do that. The leverage she has, and Raul will jump in and yank me over here off the screen, but she's compounding hers with multiple attendees. So she's got a compounded ROI. You're going to spread yourself way too thin working with Fred for 3 months for $500.
Okay. Well, here's how I've done that. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just here's how I've done that, because in the beginning I did the same thing. I did 3 and 6 month programs one-on-one, and the way I sold it was usually 2 calls per month, right? But what I found, because of the audience or the demographic that I'm attracting based on trauma at the time, was people needed more than twice a month. They wanted to talk and they wanted to get things out, and they wanted to heal. So I ended up because I'm passionate and wanted to help, right? When we first started, I still want to help, but it was like, I just want to help people heal. That's it. I don't care about the money at that point, right? And I started overdoing it. I would give them 4 calls a month. I'd call them once a week. All this kind of stuff was going on. So what I started doing, right, is I'd say, okay, so the 6 month program, you get 12 calls. That's what I tell them. You get 12 calls, 12 hours. If you want them once a week, twice a day, twice a month over the next 6 months, you can do it however you want, but you get 12 calls for this price over this amount of time. That's and then that way, and then that way they can say, okay, we'll do twice a month for 6 months. I go, great. Or they can say, I want to call every week, and we do it every week. You know what I mean? So we just lock it in that way.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Good idea.
Okay. Well, I figured we were using that baseline. I was just throwing in how I would think about working it, but I wouldn't do the 497 for what I was doing. I was thinking 2,500 or 5K.
Yeah, but we're right for the purpose of this call. We've already set a 497 product.
Right. That's why I went with
497 anyway. That allows you to upsell to the 12 or the 5 or whatever that is. So for the purpose of this training, you can have like 5 products, 6 products. 497 product gets your wheels turning on what would I create for 497.
So my suggestion, based on the 497, I like what Melanie said, because it's a group, right? So a group for 497 for 3 months is a lot different than one-on-one. Because if you get 10 people one-on-one at 497 for 3 months, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, right? So at 497 for 3 months as a group, once a week, it's not as hard. Plus, you said you were going to bring in other speakers, right? So like Jim said, you're not the only one doing all of the work there.
Whereas, I was thinking it would be like more like group activities, because a group of people, and then you can say you're paired up, you're paired up, you're paired up. Over the next week, I want you two to work on blah blah blah.
So you're leading a group. I think that's
more facilitation.
So
that's great.
So if we, for the like Jim says, for the purpose of this call, Roy, if we're talking about a 497 program, I like where your head's at. I mean, to do this one-on-one coaching for this long, it should be $2,500. You're 100% right? So what you can do, I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to really look at the values like you just did. At 497, you can say, hey, I'll give you 2 calls. Like right now, people are reaching out to you, right? You can say, I'll give you 2 one-on-one calls at 497, right? At the end of at the second call, then you go, look I have a program. It's 3 months, it's 6 months, it's this many calls, however you want. And then you upsell to your 2,500 or your 5K package. That's something.
Okay. See, because 497, guys, falls into an interesting category. It falls into, many people will buy that without asking their significant other.
All right.
Yeah.
Once you get into 4 figures, you spent what, Roy? So you kind of have, I spent $400. I know, big deal. But so it's an impulse buy that gets the higher numbers. Then, like Raul said, then you can roll them into. They already got a bite of the apple. Then you can roll them
in. All right. So with that said, I know, Melanie, you're already set up. If somebody wants to buy your packages, they can just automatically go purchase it, right? Roy, have you? Well, you have your affiliate, so I know you can take money in some form. Do you have something where you can set up like a link, 497? They click on it, they pay, boom, they set up 2 calls with you?
No, but that would take me a day.
Yeah, I mean that's not hard to do. So basically it's a calendar link, right? They pay, you set it up, tell them what they get, they pay for it. As soon as they pay for it, it sends them to a calendar link. They give you, they pick their dates. Then you know where where you need to be at those times too.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can block out times that you're not available ahead of time.
That's hard for me.
I
never
know that's the tough part is when you start
Well, then
booking
what,
calls.
just be flexible.
Well, the other thing is on your calendar, which I know this is still tough for you because you never know where you're going to be at, but on your calendar, you can put your availability too. Like they can't just pick any day. You could say, I'm available on this day at these times, and that's it. And they have to pick what you put on there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And, you know, you could also, what I do with some private clients, because maybe I want to go do something. Maybe Raul flies into town and goes, shit, I got a client. I want to go, you know, hang out with him tonight or something. So sometimes I've done a mutual agreement. I make it look like a favor to both of us. Say, hey, listen, Melanie, if something comes up, you got to do something with your son. No big deal. You don't lose the session. Let's just reschedule. I like a 24-hour notice. 48 is better. And then I get the luxury of doing the same thing. So we work together. It's like, hey, I can't do tomorrow. Can we reschedule it? I go, sure.
I get what you're saying, but sometimes I don't know where I'm at. Like I delivered a load this morning. I ran out of hours. Tomorrow I need to deliver the other 2 partials, pick up one going to Dallas. Then I'm down for 34. Now I thought I was going to be off today. I'm not.
Okay.
And if I'm going down the road, yeah, okay, I could probably pull over for an hour. But if I'm dropping off 2 loads and picking up one, my day's done.
Yeah.
I see.
No, I've learned that with Roy over the last 6 months we've been working together. Is his when people say I have a hard schedule, a lot of times I go, come on, but this guy's on the road.
Yeah.
He has a tough schedule. Go ahead, Melanie.
I had a thought for you, Roy. What about a like a Thinkific class where it's $497 value, but it's pre-recorded?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then they can take it whenever they want, and it's just going to be a matter of you working out your schedules to when you can make them.
Mm-hmm.
To where I could just call them every now and then, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Includes
Like
you know, in person. You know, here's the Thinkific. You know, here's your digital course from Roy, and it includes in-person follow-up periodically.
Yeah, it includes like two in-person coaching calls, and we'll schedule those together, and then just and that way you don't have to be like totally, you know.
Yeah, people will pay $497. They'll pay more if somebody has name recognition, but $497, you know, that's I think if a course will fit right into that. Like Melanie's absolutely correct. You know, it's tougher to, you know, $8,000 Thinkific class, a little tougher. But yeah, 100%. That's good. It fits right into what you're doing.
I want to go back to, you know, Roy, you mentioned that people are already asking. If somebody's asking, you need to pull it. You know what I mean? You need to go, okay, hey, yeah, I'll set a time for you. You know, now, you know, based on our conversation today, you can go, well, yeah, I do 2 calls for $497. Just say it. Boom. I do 2 calls for $497. Let's set them up. Right. And then from there, you give, because I know where your heart is at. I know where both of your hearts are at. You give everything you've got, like you do. You know, I would do a 45-minute max hour call. And what you don't want to do, and I used to do this too, and I think Jim probably understands this from when he started back in the day, is sometimes because we're givers, we give too much, right? I've given so much in an hour that I could have put that probably in a 3-4 hour session, like 3-4 different sessions, right? And then sometimes also, I mean, your time, you guys have to understand, your time is valuable. And I keep saying this because I'm the same way. I just want to help people. I just want to change your life. I want to show you. I don't want you to go through the challenges you're going through. So sometimes, you know, I say, okay, we have an hour call, and I'll be talking to them for an hour and a half, 3 hours. You got to respect your time also, and know that extra half an hour I just spent, that's part of your next session. So put an hour down, lock the hour. If there's more to say on the next session, we're going to talk about these 3 things, and then you go to the next session. And that way, when you do the upsell after your second call, Roy, you can say, we have so much more to work on. I love what we've gone through, and here's what we can continue to work on. If you'd like to, I have a package. And then you offer it.
And then you'll get like a standard when you're starting out, before you're getting into really all of the, you know, strategies, which you guys will learn a lot of at No Compromise. You know, you just have a standard 2 different things that you can say. Just make it easy on yourself. Don't try to, you know, learn everything in tomorrow. So Melanie, we're not putting anybody on the spot, but we're going to put people on the spot. So Melanie, if I'm giving buying signals, like I probably, I'm interested in what you have, that sounds great. Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, how would you ask for the order?
I know how I should ask for it, and I know how I probably would ask for it, and I need to get myself out of that. For example, there was somebody in my Toastmasters club who was like, "Man, I could really use some private coaching, Melanie. You could really help me become a better speaker." And I was like, you can get everything you need out of Toastmasters. You don't need to pay for it. And then and later, I'm like kicking myself, going,
that one. Let's go to the other one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say, I have this course that is available, and here's the link.
Okay, now that's you're telling them what you have, and you're telling them where to get it. You're not asking for the order. In other words, I've got a donut shop. We've got incredible glazed donuts. It's on the corner of 8th and Market if you want one. That's different than me asking them to buy a donut. So you just want to get that. Oh, can I give you guys one? Roy, let me go with you real quick with permission, Raul. How do you ask for the order?
I would say, after all this conversation, I said, what would happen if we schedule a time for you to get set up? Because at the end of this course, you're going to know exactly what direction you're going to go.
Yeah, that's not bad, because that gets their mind to imagine. And then I'm going to give you a closing statement now. I hate to make it sound sterile, but you ready? Can you write this down, or are you driving, Roy?
No, I'm parked.
I don't want to be responsible for your, what is 18-wheeler careening off of the road. Okay, so the Roy, what would you need to hear from me, Roy, obviously would be their name. Roy, what would you need to hear from me so we can begin working together to change your life, or to whatever, insert benefit? What you did is you asked them what you need to tell them. They're going to tell you what they need to say. So they can say, I need to, Roy, I need to know that this is effective and that you're going to really help me. Now you just creatively feed that back to them. I understand, Roy, completely understand. This is highly effective, and I'm going to be there every step of the way. They just said, what do you need to hear from me so I can buy your course? Then you just feed that back, and then they buy your course.
Okay.
Now, let me say something on that, because that works 100%. Okay. It really helps to connect with the individual, but that's verbal. And the only reason I'm saying this, because somebody did that via text with me the other day, and I laughed, because they said, what do you need? Like, what are you looking for? And I wrote down a couple of things, and they responded. They basically copied and pasted what I texted them and said, so is this what you need?
No, Raul's right. It only works verbally. So good.
Yeah. I laughed, and I was like, that's what I said. Yeah. But so verbally, it's a little bit different. They're actually, it shows you're listening to them. Texting, it really doesn't work. You guys got those notes?
Yeah.
Okay. Be thinking too. We're not done, obviously, but be thinking about a name for your course too. And think about something that's not common, clever, or innovative. The reason Raul and I can do mine too is because people know who we are. But in the beginning, I wouldn't have done mine one, because who the hell is this guy? And so I did something that would have breaking the barriers, or, they would kind of get an idea, what it is.
Yep. And it's always expanding. In fact, I'm looking right now, I'm working on a new name branding, right? Like for putting together events versus my tag is one thing. It's a passion thing, but we're putting together events for 2022, and we're bringing in, expert speakers, right? And it really doesn't fit with tag, the passion of tag, because these speakers are going to come, they're going to teach something specific, and they're going to sell products. So with that, I got to find a brand for it, right? So I'm working on the same thing as you guys are right now. So know that once you put something together, run with it, man. That's great. But those you can always create more and more and more. And I think as you advance, you'll see that. Like, okay, now I want to do this. Earlier, Melanie, we were talking with you a little bit before Roy jumped on, and he said, "Oh, here's a good idea. Here's a good idea." There's a big difference in having a whole bunch of ideas because you honestly you can make money doing anything. If you know like, what do you, Jim always says, I'm gonna mess up. I can't quote you. I'll paraphrase, but he always says it's the same ingredients, right? It's just a different industry per se. So we could make money doing anything if we know what the recipe is. Now, there's difference in that versus I am doing A and it's evolving into B. So B can be part of this, right? So that's like right now, what I'm working on is kind of evolving into, oh, I need to have a different brand for this. So I'm looking at new brands. So I think where you guys are at right now with it, with Melanie, what you've already started, and then Roy, I think I really like what we've all just kind of put together for you right there. I think, I mean, you could sell that now, just like Melanie's selling some stuff. You could sell that right now.
Breaking point.
Breaking point. There you go. I love it.
There you go. That's good. Let me go register that right now, Roy. I'll sell it back.
I'm gonna get the web. I'm gonna get the domain name. I'll sell it to you for $5,000.
That's taken, so you probably
Too late. Too late. I got it.
What is the name of your program, Melanie?
The one I have right now is Find Yourself and Live a Life You Love.
Find yourself and live a life you love. So what do you think, Jim? What I've been trying to do is like find yourself and I'll paraphrase, find your life and that you love. I always feel like it needs to be, the title should be super short, right? And then, well, what is that? And then you get into the bigger one. I think we talked a little bit about that at Mind 2. Is that what we came up with at Mind 2, or is this something different?
No, this was, I think, something different.
Remember all of your events. Let me retract that. Raul's 100% correct. You'll have a name for your event, and then you have a subheadline underneath it. You know, so you could have, you know, I mean, I'm just pulling. Let's say you did women's trauma or something. You could have unlock the chains or something, whatever it is, right? And then overcoming trauma from childhood or something. So there's a title that you can actually. I always like to do. You've seen what we've done with No Compromise, and you've seen what we've done with Mind 2. Would the title be able to be put on a logo?
Well, the other one I'm thinking of has something to do with transformation or transformative.
Think logo though, not that you need a logo.
I'm thinking Phoenix or butterfly
with a subheadline, you know, and then that way the subheadline, like Raul said, can be, you know, the benefits of going, but you've got a cool, you know, name for the logo. Like Roy's is what, 2 words? What was it, Roy? I just registered it. I can't log into GoDaddy again.
Breaking point, and I can see the words breaking.
Yeah.
Okay, so something like that.
Okay.
Here's something else that I've learned the hard way. I've seen other people learn the hard way too. You always got to be aware of the acronym, right? So one of the things I was working on was Advanced Success Services. What would the acronym be? so I was like, oh, I got to take one of those S's out.
There was a guy when I was in network marketing. We're all friends, right? Okay, yeah. So there was a guy when I was in network marketing. He wanted to start his own group. So he called it, you know, Raul is so right. He called it the Financial Abundance Group. I said, bro, are you going to make hats? Are you going to make hats with the acronym? Because I don't want one.
Yeah, no, I see stuff like that all the time, and I don't know why. I don't think the average person will look at the acronym of it, but I mean, we always want to make an acronym. Like you said, a hat, a T-shirt, or something, right? I mean, I don't put transparency, acceptance, growth on my stuff. You know it as tag, right? That's what it is. So I mean, breaking point works. I mean, BP that works, right? So let's come up with something for you, Melanie, with the programs you're selling right now.
Okay. Let's see. Well, yeah, I'm thinking something with transformation. That's as far as I'm getting.
What's it doing for the person? I think you were closer before. You know, you were closer before. It was just too long.
Yeah, find yourself and live a life you love.
Okay, so
I feel like that could be the after the colon part. Yeah, it needs a better title.
I'm throwing this out. I mean, Raul and I, this is the way we work. We just throw stuff out and then it goes around. So You could put something like love you, love life, or something, that has a little bit of a catch to it without having so many words.
Find love, find life.
Find love, find life.
Well, it has to be something like loving yourself, I think. That sounds like a dating
sign. What were the first two words?
Find yourself. How about find yourself, live a life you love?
Well, it'd be find yourself, and then like a title of a book, find yourself, and then under it, find the life you live.
100%. That's it. So the name of the event, this is why Raul and I worked here. We kind of, it's frightening that, we think alike, but so it's kind of, he's exactly right. That's the name of the event. So, hey, Jim, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to Find Yourself. I'm going, what is it? An event over here at the Marriott. What's it called? Find Yourself. See, he's 100%. Then you have the tagline underneath it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Find Yourself because it's easy to say. Like even Tony Robbins uses unlimited. What does the UPW stand for?
Oh, unleash your power.
Yeah, unleash the power within. Right. Nobody says unleash the power within. They say UPW. It's just quick and easy. So Find Yourself is quick and easy too. Right. You don't even got to have an acronym for that. I mean, you could, but you don't have to. Find Yourself. Jim's
I actually, well, maybe I should save it. I actually had an idea of how to leverage Tony Robbins's big event when he does Unleash Your Power, because he even said at his free event that he doesn't care. Bring 25 people, and I was like, dude, rent a retreat center. Have the food, offer yoga classes, breathing classes, some drumming sessions, whatever, and make it where everybody brings like their sleeping bags, have a big screen TV. We all do Unleash Your Power together, as we all be big dorks with that, but you get your food covered and everything. You charge everybody. I think I figured it out. It was something like $6,000 for the one ticket. But if you had like 20 people there and you charged them each $600, you could not only have fun doing it, but you'd walk away with a profit.
People do that. They're already doing that. A friend of mine, she's a mortgage broker in Marin, and she did the business mastery, just exactly what you're saying. And she sold tickets for $1,000, and she had a group of like 25 people come to her office, and they did business mastery for 3 days.
Wow.
So, yeah.
People
Yep.
That was so fun.
Okay, Roy.
497, guys. Let's dial it back in. 497. I know it's not exciting anymore because we already figured out the price point. But once you can bake a dozen cookies, you can bake a dozen cookies. So it's 497. We want to complete that program, Melanie, before we do the intercontinental yoga retreat. Well, we will do that, and you will make gazillions of dollars. But let's focus on the 497 first. So Roy, you got your name. Are you okay with that name? Just you don't have to take put in ink.
No, I like it.
What about you, Melanie? Do you like what Raul said, or do you want to work on it a little bit?
Yeah, no, I like it because I kind of already been marketing it with that name, so it would be such a tiny shift that it wouldn't change any of the marketing I've already done, and it would be better. Yeah.
And then what I do sometimes on some of my stuff is, I'd write the first few words really big like that. Can you see that? I just wrote circles, but then under it, the longer sentence just kind of goes under it like that. So it says, boom, breaking point, and then if you had something under it, Roy, you could put it there. So I keep forgetting yours. Find yourself, and then that other sentence right under here.
Right.
So when you start making graphics and things like that for it, what I do want to touch on, going back, like you were just talking about, Jim, is we've kind of jammed through yours, Roy. You got breaking point. We threw out there that if you're ready to do a couple of calls for people and they're asking you how can we help you right now, so that when we're done here and you got a couple of days off, that you can book a couple of clients.
Well, I'm thinking for 497, a 4-week call and 1 call a week. 4-week course, 1 call a week.
That's really cheap, but there's nothing wrong with starting like that.
Well, I don't want them to fizzle out. I mean, who's going to stay connected in a month?
I don't mind that role, because when we were just talking before you guys came on, you got to sell something to get the money faucet, the siphon going.
Yeah.
Before you can make $10,000, you got to make $1.
Yeah.
Right. So we want. That's not bad, because you are the CEO and owner. You can discontinue that program anytime you want. But why not do it? To get the ball rolling a little bit.
I'm okay.
The 4-week course. What do I do with that? The modules have something recorded.
You want to be careful. I'm with Raul on this. watch out for projects, because ultimately, yes, Thinkific, record all the modules, you can pivot to that. I think if you already have people asking, I would transact and I'd figure it out later. I mean, I would tell
Roy?
them,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Jim, but I just realized I misunderstood what you said. When you said 4-week course, I thought you meant 4 weeks one-on-one calls for $495. Is that what you meant or no?
A 4-week course where they can basically get homework, and I will call them once a week.
Okay. All right. To start. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
I figure $100 a week for that.
let's start with this. I mean, you can do that, but now let's reverse engineer. Now you got to make the course.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I've got courses on Thinkific and all that stuff, but I would love for you to and Melanie, same for you, for somebody to pay you through PayPal or Stripe $500 in the next X amount of days or weeks. So think of what you can do to actually transact. You might do what Raul's saying, just do 2 calls, or you said, Roy, for $497, and you can change that, and you can have one client and change it.
Here's how you do the course. You see the difference in the screen now, or is that just my view? What do you see right now?
Just
do you see me, or do you see everybody?
Just you.
I see you.
I see everybody. Yeah. Everybody.
Okay, so my view. I'll show you my view because it's probably different. That's my view, right? And right now it's whoever's talking. So I can also set it where it's just me talking and everybody is over here on the side, right? So your first couple of calls that you do, your first trainings you do them live on Zoom with one person, I don't care how many, and then record it, right? Then you sell that as your course because it's your face with a couple of people up here in the corner. Then it's your face. So you just created your course in those first 4 weeks with doing live talks with somebody one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta find out. Oh, there we go. Back to the gallery. So yeah, that's just a setting on Zoom. Do you guys both have Zoom accounts?
No, but I will.
Okay, yeah, because that's the primary way right now. Obviously, I mean, look, we're on Zoom now. A lot of us get on Zoom calls or Zoom meetings and things like that. So your calls, Roy, or yours, Melanie, you guys can do them on the phone or on Zoom. Me personally, and it's just a personal thing, when I'm working with somebody on the inner work, like you both love to do, I like to look at them. I like to see the emotion and talk to them, versus just kind of being on the phone like that. So, but that's your choice. Okay. So are you ready to rock, Roy?
Yeah.
All right. So your homework for our next call, both of you guys' homework for our next call is to have sold at least one thing.
Cool.
What do you think? Can you do it?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an apple.
Hey, I have a separate question.
Okay.
I'm gonna start doing TikToks in Spanish. I already have a couple made. Should I integrate them into my already streams, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Or should I separate them?
You know what? Man, that's a good question. And I'll bet you if you ask 5 people, you get 5 different answers. What some people I've seen do just a couple of times is obviously we've seen all Hispanic, all Spanish, and then we've seen, combinations. What you can do, and this is just a suggestion, and I'll research some more to see what probably the better answer is, but you can do, because you do shorter videos, right? So I've seen people do like a 30-second video in English and then flip over and say the same thing in Spanish, and then you see both. I don't know if that's conflicted or not either, but let's take a look. We can do some research on that and see which is the best way to go.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. That 1 minute goes fast. And the reason I do 1 minute is because Facebook and Instagram are only a minute long.
Yeah. Right. TikTok, you can go as long as you want, right?
You can do 3 minutes on TikTok.
Okay.
I can.
Yep. Or maybe you do 1 minute in English as a separate one and then one right behind it in Spanish. Then you're picking up both demographics, or create a whole new page. I'm curious too, because although I don't speak Spanish, a lot of people tell me to reach out to the Hispanic market. There's not a whole lot of guys doing trauma work with the Hispanic community. So I don't know, maybe we can partner on something like that.
One of my friends does TikTok videos in Spanish and English, and she does about half and half. And I just set my my TikTok thing to I prefer English videos, and so then it only sends me her English ones.
Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't even know there was a setting like that. There you go. See that? That's good.
And as an audience member, you can do that. So
Yeah. Interesting, because I mean, I know there's this Hispanic lady, and she's hilarious, man. And I don't even know what she's saying, but she makes me laugh every time, because I can understand a little bit, right? So I can kind of get what she's saying, and it kills me. She's funny, her voice and the way she does it. So I must not have no settings on, because I get every language on mine. But yeah, you could set that. And then, as far as hashtag goes and targeting, you just hashtag the community you're trying to reach: Hispanic, Mexico, Spanish, things like that, and it'll go to that community.
I know living in San Diego or Southern California, man, well over 50% are bilingual.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they are. I mean, because, maybe grandma isn't, but, they've been around. They're pretty bilingual, around here and around LA and stuff like that. So I think your English ones will capture a lot, and then test the Spanish market. See what happens.
Yeah. If based on what you're teaching and what you're putting out there, Roy, I don't doubt that people are asking you to do stuff in Spanish. I mean, they ask me all the time, and I just don't speak it. So yeah, I mean, I would do it if I was you. I think that's great.
Yeah, you might have an untapped market right
there. Yeah. All right, guys. Any final questions? Your homework is to sell one thing. I don't care if you got to get on the phone and beg somebody. If you have people reaching out, interested in your stuff, remember, like Jim keeps saying, the call to action, right? I have this. Oh, I have this for sale, and I think it can help you. The wording that he gave you, the vocabulary he gave you. So let's work these next 2 weeks on selling a product. All right. I know people are reaching out to you guys. It's all about that sale. The example you gave Melanie, when somebody came to you about their talk. Oh yeah, you can get it over there. No, oh yeah, you can get it right here. I'll show you. I can show you that. That's the way to go.
Not if I throw a garage sale.
There you go. Yeah. What'd you sell? My daughter's bunny. Okay. Any final questions?
I'm sorry, Raul. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Regardless of how much money you make, I have some $97 audio programs. I use them for a variety of reasons. I'm not looking to sell $97 programs. They're on my website, but they sell here and there, whatever. But I also use them. You can have a $97 program that's, an hour long, 2 30-minute sessions or whatever it is you're doing. So I use it for law of reciprocity, because it's a $100 program, but I can send it off my phone to the guy sitting next to me or to the girl and couple over here. So I can just say, you know what, I'm going to gift you something right now. I'll go ahead and do this. Now I've got law of reciprocity with no cost of goods. I'm giving them $100 in their mind. So you'll have some programs like that you're able to sell. But where I'm going with this, somebody bought one yesterday off my website. Okay, I'm not going to pay my mortgage with it. But what happens, I got $100 in my PayPal account. I'm like going, I take that 100 and I expand it into going, shit, they just bought me dinner and drinks tonight. I can go out and do something, whatever I want. Didn't have that $100 yesterday. So I can apply it to whatever. I would fill my tank with gas, whatever that is. I can make it seem something else. So what I used to do with my students is, I would say, is $600 a month a lot of money, or $700 a month? And they go, no, not really. It's a brand new Mercedes, free, paid for. So you take that and you go, wow. So if they say $700, I go, $700. No, that Mercedes is free. So if you had like a course that was making you $700 on Thinkific, that's not where you want to stop. But they just bought you a brand new Mercedes. So you can take that expansive, let's say an average mortgage is $3,000. If you have a course that's paying you $3,000, your house is free. My house is free, right? I don't pay for it. So you're not stuck subconsciously between having to transact for that anymore, to go after it. It's paid for. So essentially, if you're making $4,000 on autopilot through your courses, your home and your brand new Mercedes are paid for, free.
Excellent.
So always just equate it. So like where I'm going with this, I hope you guys are tracking with me. If I get $100 ding, on my phone, and $197 comes in, I'm going, geez, I was going to go fill my car with gas anyway. This guy just paid for it.
There you go. All right. In these next couple of weeks, guys, I mean, I know I've interacted with you a little bit on Messenger and stuff, Melanie, and then Roy, we've been, we were hanging out at Tag and the whole thing. But as you come to the point of the sale, if you need some help, or if you want to call somebody or something, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure Jim's open to it. Doesn't mean
just call us.
yeah. I've told Roy this for months now. I mean, text me and I'll call you as soon as I can. If I can't answer, I'll call you as soon as I can, and I'll call you right back. So yeah, if as you guys make these sales, then if you need some support, we're here to support you, because I'd like to see you guys start getting some sales in there, right?
Something else we'd like to do for both of you as well. I think I'm going to make a first sale first, and I don't know if we did this at mine too or not, but we will do it because you guys, hooked in or coming over to the other event as well. We'll just start with a picture and a byline. We can start with that because that's usable. It doesn't take up real estate on a website as much as a video does. You can do that too. But just a simple testimonial on you, Melanie, and a simple one for you, Roy. I'm happy to do that. I'm sure Raul will be happy to do that as well. So you got that connective credibility. I've got 2 clients. I don't do a lot of private clients, but I do when there's nowhere to talk. And so Cindy Violette, the world poker champion, is a former client of mine and friend out of Vegas. So I've got her picture and the testimonial. I've been using that testimonial for 4 years. Every time I put it out on LinkedIn, Facebook, I make probably around $8,000. I mean, it's the same testimonial. I'll be using it when Cindy's 98 years old. It's the same testimonial, but it's there. It's archived. It's there. And remember, with social media, not everybody sees. I've posted. I'm sure Raul, he's more adept at it than I. I've put stuff up that everybody saw for the first time, but it's the 5th time I put it up because not everybody sees it when you put it out there. So I just repurpose it over and over.
I like that, the repurposing. I learned that a few years ago, and I used to post one time thinking I'm not going to post it again, but man, you can post the same thing 10 times a month if you wanted to, because not everybody sees it at the same time. Yeah, that's great. That's great advice.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys, good call.
So,
what's up, Roy?
So when do we get those testimonials from you?
Anytime, man.
You're going to get them in May of 2020.
Second Tuesday of next week.
2026.
So what Jim promised you guys is when you make that first sale, we're gonna do testimonies for you guys.
Wow. Okay. So
So
you're backpedaling.
There you go. We're happy to do that, and don't underestimate. The power of video is the most powerful. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But when they don't watch a video, they will read a testimonial.
I don't know if you realize, Roy, but I gave you a shout out today, man. Did you watch my video?
Oh, I saw a shout out for Roy. It's like awesome.
Yeah, so I need to do that for you too, Melanie. I mean, any of our clients, I do shout outs for. So why don't we get on a call this week sometime in the next couple of days? Just text when it's a good time. I mean, it could be a 5-minute call. I'll get a little bit more details about what you are trying to sell right now, and then like I did with Roy's today, I'll be talking about whatever, but I'll throw you in there just like what I did with him, and then I'll start doing that for you guys too.
Did you tag me on it?
I'm pretty sure I did. Thanks for ignoring
I didn't
my
see
stuff, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. I will tag you if you're not.
All right,
guys. Talk to you later.
Also, it's not just about these Zooms. Just call us or text us. If you have a question, you don't have to wait 2 weeks. Just hit us up.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Roy, drive safely. Melanie, take care of everything. I mean, you've got a lot on your plate all the time. I don't even have one kid, or I don't even have a dog. So I still struggle through
the big ones.
All right, guys. Enjoy the night. Bye-bye.